The number one threat to any business survival is not lack of customers or lack of profits or even presence of competition, but it is lack of cash. Cash is as important to a business as oxygen is to you and me, and as fuel is to a car. You and me cannot survive without oxygen. A car cannot move without fuel. And so, no business can survive, leave alone thrive, if it has a cash crunch. And now, I want to discuss how you can manage the cash position of your business like a master. And I will show you the trick that most brokers play on their suppliers and their customers. Now, at this point of the year, the schools have just opened, and the boarding schools, they are looking for people who can supply them with various materials, whether it is cereals for kids to eat or lab materials, whatever you can mention. And this is where brokers do thrive. Imagine a broker who has been given a tender to supply bags of maize in various schools. How do they go about their business? This is how they do it. They go visit a few farmers, then they convince these farmers who have stocks of maize that currently, as we speak, there is an oversupply of maize all over Kenya. They mentioned to you a few counties: Bungoma, Kitale, Mombasa, Murang'a, everywhere, and they instill fear in you. So this is what happens. If you had purposed, and this is just for this example, if you had purposed to sell a bag of maize at 1,000 Kenya shillings, this guy will make you believe that the best you can sell is 500 shillings. So you make a deal, you are agreeable, you give this guy a few bags, and so he comes to this other side, he gets a meeting with a principal, a decision maker, procurement officer of these boarding schools, and they sell a different story altogether. So they tell him that in the market as it is currently, there is an acute shortage of maize. The maize that you get in many places, it is bad quality. And even that bad quality, it is very hard to get. But for me, because of my extensive network, we have been able to source some good quality of maize from Kitale. And the best price that we can give to you is 2,000. Remember, the principal had planned and budgeted to purchase a bag of maize, and this is an example, for 1,500 shillings. But now the broker with this story, the principal realizes that if he doesn't get this opportunity, if he doesn't take advantage of this opportunity to buy the maize that this broker is presenting to him, he will lose out and he may struggle to feed the school in the next few weeks. So the principal says, it's okay then, you can give me 100 bags at 2,000 Kenya shillings per bag. The broker even makes the principal to believe that it is a favor. And in fact, I have so much orders from other schools, from other clients, but because I have a long-term business relationship with you, I have decided before I implement any other order, I have to first come to you. So the principal feels honored, respected, and has to really buy very quickly. Remember, it is the same story that this guy had sold to the farmer, convincing the farmer that it's only that I have a long-standing relationship with you. Otherwise, I'm being contacted to go buy maize in in Kitale, in Eldoret, but I decided to come here in Mount Kenya because you are my people. I cannot go and reach other people in other communities and regions before I come here. But it is a trick. They know very well how to use the words. Now, how much has this broker made? Assuming there are no other costs. There is no transportation cost, nothing. So this broker is making a clean 1,500 shillings per bag because he was able to convince the farmer not to sell a bag of maize at 1,000 Kenya shillings, and the farmer agreed willingly, without any duress, coercion or threat, to sell at 500 shillings. And on this other hand, he was able to convince the principal not to buy at 1,500, but to buy at 2,000 shillings per bag. So if his margin was like this broker, and I want us to have the mentality, the mindset of a broker, he was able to expand a bit on this side by pushing the farmer to move from the position of 1,000 to 500. And he was also able to push the customer, in this case the principal of a school, from the position of 1,500 to 2,000. And you can see his profit margin has just widened. He has not robbed anyone. He has not taken advantage of anyone. It is called business because both of the buyer and the seller, the customer and the farmer, they're not buying or selling at a gunpoint. They have the opportunity to do due diligence, to make a few calls. But these brokers, whenever they are interacting with you, they always create a sense of urgency. It is either now or never. And speaking about schools, I know of how many people have been conned by malicious people. These other ones are just thieves. Someone calls you because they know you take your child perhaps to Alliance High School, and then they say that, Baba John, I am a teacher from Alliance High School, and your son John has been involved in a very fatal accident. In fact, we are rushing him to Aga Khan. Please give us some down payment of 100,000 because we need to do some urgent medical checks. There are some images, there are some photos, there are some procedures that need to be done immediately. So you panic, and this guy tells you need to do right now. I'm giving you the next 5-10 minutes to have sent. So you get confused. You don't even remember that you can call the principal of the school or maybe call a teacher. You without thinking much, you look for money. If you are able to fuliza, if you are able to borrow, you do and send 100,000. So they instill a sense of urgency. And it is the same principle. It is the same concept that a broker will instill in you. Either you are the farmer or you are their customer. That's the story they will sell to you. Is it bad? No. It's a business strategy saying that even most businesses, when you hear that the offers remains as long as the stock is there, that we had many units, but only few are remaining. Even you see supermarket putting that kind of a poster that you need to rush and take advantage of discounted prices before they run out of stock. The guys who sell houses, who sell plots, they tell you even just after they have subdivided a huge chunk of land, and maybe they had bought 10 acre piece of land, they subdivide it into 100 units, and they are selling to people in smaller plots. When they are marketing, they will tell you only a few units plots are remaining. But even at that point, they have not even sold a single one. It is a marketing strategy. So even for the broker, when they push you, it is allowed. It is okay. Don't say that they are a liar. But for this other guy who is telling you that your kid has been involved in an accident, no, that's a different story. Now, let me go to strategy number 2 of a broker. A broker can come to your farm, in this case, the one who is buying maize, with 0 shillings, with 0, but you will get out of your farm with so much farm produce, whether it is maize, whether it is avocados, whatever that you are selling. He will convince you. He will tell you that the kind of business that I run, I operate, I do it based on trust. I will collect your farm produce, and together with the farm produce for your neighbors, and I will go supply to our customers. And our customers usually pay after 1 month. After 1 month, that's when we will be able to get paid by our customers. They only pay for supplies once in a month. So allow me to collect these bags of maize, and by the end of the month, I will bring you your cash payment. So the farmer, and maybe they had done something similar in the past, and so they ride on that, saying that this is what we have always done. You can rely on us. We are trustable. We are trustable. You have been able to verify who we are. So you give them maize on credit terms for 1 month. But now when this guy goes to the principal of the school or their customers, they don't want to listen anything about credit terms. They even convince the principal, their customers, that they bought what they are supplying to them in cash. And in fact, they create a sense of urgency. They tell the principal, because I really respect you, and I don't want anything that can make us to go different ways, and I need your business, and you also need me. I had gone to the bank. I borrowed some money. This capital that I have used to procure the maize I'm bringing you, it is from the bank, and the bank is on my neck. And this is a story. So the principal feels obligated, pressurized to pay for this maize as soon as possible. But now the principal says that, my brother, my sister, we have just opened the school and we don't have enough resources. Most of the parents are yet to pay school fees. So allow me to pay you after 1 week. After 1 week, I assure you, the first set or batch of school fees that I will collect, I will pay you before I even pay anything else. And the broker agrees that because we have a long-standing relationship, I agree to your offer. After 1 week, I will come so that I can collect the payment. Now, 1 week later, the guy comes. He cannot even give or offer you an extra day. 1 week, he comes to the principal, whether it is a check or an online cash transfer, he receives the money. After receiving the money, remember, he had promised the farmers that he would pay them after 1 month. So he can use this cash to do other businesses, or he can, after 1 week maybe, go to the same farmers and tell them, as I promised you, I have brought you the money. And actually, I have over-delivered on my promise. I had said it would take 1 month, and it has only taken me half the time. This is your money. And from that moment going forward, no one will ever convince this farmer to sell to any other person. They will know the only person who keeps their word is broker ABCD. And that's how, as a broker, you do business. And the same way, that's how brokers do business. In the same way that I'm asking you, in whatever business that you are doing, for you to not only survive, but to thrive and sustain your business, you need to have the mentality of a broker. A broker will try to bargain for better prices on this side from their suppliers, and they will push a bit more their customers. And the story does not end there. Even when it comes to payment terms, they do it the best. They convince the supplier, their supplier, that you need to give us 30 days. On this other side, they don't accept anything more than 7 days, so that they can use the money that they have been given by their customers to pay for the goods that they had been offered on credit by their suppliers. And a broker never goes to the bank to borrow to finance their business. It is you, the supplier, and the customer who are supposed to finance his business. His work is to bring the two of you close to one another without you seeing or knowing each other, so that he can forever and ever continue to take advantage of that and make his business thrive. Think like a broker, and I tell you, your business will not only survive, but it will thrive.